Hello, hello. If you want to see how my One Book July has started out, this is only day 2 of my One Book July. Stay tuned. Welcome to my channel, or welcome back if you have been watching and following along in my journey with me. So this is my first update on my One Book July. So as you guys saw in my last video, I decided to go with my B6, and I'm using the B6 Stalogy for it. And I'm also kind of working my way through the bullet journal method by Ryder Carroll, and I'll kind of, give you guys like a brief update. I've really only gotten, let's see, what page am I on? 97, I guess, 98. So I haven't really, gotten through it, obviously, completely. I'm just kind of working my way through right now. But I figured I would kind of go through how I decided to set up my B6. And so let's just get started with that. Okay, so a few things. So super important for me to kind of have everything in one place so that I'm not digging around and I have what I need. So I did have to add, some things to like the little pouch that I had made so that I had stuff that I needed. So I did add some dividers, and I put some stickers in here, that I use and will be using in my weekly, I guess. So you guys have seen this before. I have the small tabs on the side that I use to allocate the months. And then I did actually just put this teeny little tab on top, or little bookmark on top, and it opens right up to my main page for my July with my goals, and then my important dates for stuff that I have going on. Let me zoom you in so you can see it a little bit better. There we go. Okay, and then I do have this little bauble, I guess, bookmarked for my important dates, and essentially it comes into my monthly. So I am not somebody that is very good at drawing a straight line. So what I did was, this is an Annie Plans, and I can't remember if this is a personal wide or a B6. Not sure of that, but it's one of those two sizes. And I printed it out on sticker paper, and I have my month calendar. So then it's very, clean and professional looking, and that's really what I want. I mean, the professional part doesn't matter, but it just, if I was doing those lines, it would be a mess. Then I really need a tracker as well for my health, and I usually have a separate book for this, but since this is One Book July, I have my tracker that I started in here. And so basically, as I figure out what other things that I really absolutely need to track this month, I'll put it in here, and then this will be filled out. This is really anything pertinent medically that happened in the month that I need to log. So, and then I did this little tracker tab. And so I put the tab on the 3M sticky note so you can see. And then this is, sticky, but it's also removable. So I can kind of take it on and off. So that works perfect. So then decided to use this for an inbox, and so I just put a couple of sticky notes and some of my other stickers that I need to get through the week. And then basically, here you go. I play around with my weekly spreads, or my daily spreads, I should say. Right now, this one seems to be working well for me to just do 2 days per page. And then on the third page, I do the last day of the week, and then I do the weekend together because I don't generally plan a whole ton of stuff for the weekend. So I have, all the stuff, and basically my life, I work best off of lists. So that just helps my brain stay focused and keeps me going. Like when I have an appointment, I will put the appointment in there. Now, I have just been doing like little circles, but as I'm reading this, like one of the things that I did glean from reading the book, is talking about tasks, and you can see the things that I have found beneficial for me, I've marked, and then I can kind of go back and read them again, and pull from it. So basically, that's what I did. So I just kind of like went through, and so like basically what I'm talking about is, like how he allocates different things for his marks. So I may actually do, like when it's an actual appointment, I may do something different just so that it's more obvious to me that that's an appointment and not just like a task that needs to be completed. So this is kind of how I've chosen so far to kind of do things. I may maybe make a little bit more of a section so that just say like, okay, say here with my hair appointment, just say it was awful, which it wasn't, it was totally fine. But say the hair color didn't come out right, or I didn't like how she cut it or whatever. If I had a little bit more space, I could just kind of like write underneath it and just kind of write a little something so that I kind of had a bit of a like memory keeping type thing on that specific incident. Or like with this, when I paid this bill, I can this particular bill I split up into 2 payments, and I could put down the days the payments are coming out. So those types of things, for me, that's probably about the most that I would do. In his book, I'm trying to think, I don't remember what section it's in. He does talk about like just situations in life. Like, okay, kind of like this. So like say he's writing about this date with this person or whatever, and kind of how things went. I don't think I'm gonna do that. And I mean, I get like, some people want to have like a catch-all, and I've seen plenty of people that do that like fully in bullet journaling. I personally, okay, so quite a while ago, I was working a job, and at the time I was using a traveler's notebook. And so I had a bunch of different inserts, and one of my inserts was like a diary or journal type insert. And my book was sitting on my desk and at work, and it was, everybody used the same space, I guess. It was like a table. And I walked away for, I don't know, an hour or two, and I came back and I found my boss literally rifling through my traveler's notebook, which had my journal in it, as well as like my appointments, and I think I had some finance stuff. Like I had a lot of personal information in that book. And you know, it was my fault that I didn't like put it away and lock it up. But ever since that has happened, I've been my planner is my planner, and I don't want like tons of personal information in here, because that just threw me for a loop. So now I just keep a separate journal for things. So I really don't want to add some of that stuff into my bullet journal because if for some reason I lost it, which I'd have a total meltdown, if for some reason I lost it, I don't want somebody finding it and like finding out all this like personal stuff. Like that's just not, no thanks. So I'm going to stick to what works for me. And that's just keeping my planners. And maybe, like I said, I'll like allocate like a little thing here or there, you know, which would be a good idea because it just helped me remember like, oh, okay, so I paid this in 2 payments and they're coming out on these days. Or I didn't like this hair color, just so that I know, you know, next time that I would go, I would say, you know, let's try something different. So that, I mean, in a way, it is a good idea. So I sort of like took that out of there. I just know that for me, I'm going to keep it very, very basic and not say much. This way, if somebody does happen to find it, they're not finding personal information. So, you know, so that's kind of one thing that I have taken from that. There are some other things that I've gone through in this short time already. So like doing the monthly log and the future log, both of these I think are really good ideas. Especially like the monthly where you just have that like glance. So I think having the entire month written out, even if there's like nothing taking place on some of those days, I think this is a really great idea that I'm definitely, you know, going to implement to help me just kind of have like a quick view of what's going on in the month. And then a future log is something as well that I'm going to add. I'm not going to do it like this. I actually have like a future log like pull out that I'll probably just tip in to maybe this page, or yeah, I'll probably put it in here so that I'll have my I can have this for appointments. What I've been doing has just been, I had just been writing like important dates. And the problem with this is that if so as an example, here I have an appointment, a doctor's appointment on the 15th. This was actually the first thing that I wrote down. But then I got a hair appointment, and luckily I had enough room I could kind of squeeze it in. But because, like, just say if something were to happen, like, and an appointment was going to come in some of these other days, I'd have to write it down here. And then it wouldn't, I like this idea better because, like, I have, you know, doctor's appointments coming up this month, and I want to make sure that some of them they're going to want me to do follow-up appointments with. And since I'm going to have follow-up appointments, I want to be able to have that future log there so that I can have a quick glance of, you know, what is going on and how to do that. So, but anyway, you know, so those are a few things that I have so far anyway picked out of the book that I think are helpful for me. And so stay tuned, you know, as I go. There are a few more things that I want to put in here. I do really want to track some like YouTube stuff. I have, you know, a few other tabs in the back. I have a notes tab now, a reading log, my car maintenance, shops and purchases. So I am also going to add a page or two that has to do with my YouTube and Instagram, so I can kind of keep track of that a little bit. And that will probably be it as far as those types of pages go, unless I find something else in here that I think I want to add to it. So thank you for watching my very first update for my One Book July. It's only day 2, so I've just started, but I'm definitely I'm getting the hang of just having one book around. So I am excited to see, you know, how the month progresses and how things go. And thank you for following me in my journey. So definitely like and subscribe. Feel free to follow me on Instagram. And if you have any questions, it's generally easier to send me a message on Instagram, as my YouTube takes a while for it to come back and let me know that somebody has sent me a message. So even just commented. But thanks, you guys, for following me along in my very first One Book July. And here's to the next rest of the month. All right, we will see you in the next video. Bye.